Well, Trail the Caribou Research Group exists to ensure the deeds and sacrifices of Newfoundlanders in service, whether at home or abroad, are not forgotten.
Right.
So in 2026, we took 34 Newfoundlanders through London, and so we started in Paris, went to the Somme, did 6 days on the Somme, went to Belgium, did the Ypres salient, and visited all the 5 caribous in France. We spent a few days in London, went to Wandsworth Cemetery, did a special visit to the Beatrix Potter School because they look after the soldiers' graves. Fantastic. Right next to it. And then we did 6 days in Gallipoli and visited all the different national sites there and all the Newfoundland-centric spots, like where they landed in Caribou or on Kangaroo Beach, and where the first casualties were. There's 25 Newfoundlanders buried there. Right. 22 from the regiment and 2 from the British Army, 1 from the Australian Army. So we visited all theirs and did this special thing, and we walked the route that the action of Caribou Hill did. So we left the British front lines, followed the same route, talked about the 2 little skirmishes they had there, and found a couple of trenches the regiment dug, because they're all still there. So,
I mean, this word pilgrimage has got centuries and millennia of roots, and it's about going to spiritual places,
yes,
going to places of worship and also loss.
Yes.
And in your situation, you're going to places of loss, but you're also going to places that are important to Newfoundland and St. John's as a whole.
Yes.
Why Ayr?
When the regiment got big enough to have a depot,
yeah,
they chose Ayr, and they came here in July, August of 1915 to set up the depot. There was also a company up in Paisley, and they spent 2.5 years here, and they got to know it very well. If you go to the coast and you look at the mountains and the hills and the sea, it's just like a lot of bays and coves in Newfoundland. So even the visuals had a meaning here. They were welcomed by the people of Ayr, and they stayed here for 2.5 years.
They did, didn't they? And without being too flippant about it, many of the Ayr men were away serving.
Yep.
Many of the Newfoundland men were here as the reserve base, training and getting ready to go forward. Yep. Many of the Ayr lasses, they needed and wanted company, and that happened.
I think spiritual connection or remembrance is about connections.
Yeah.
So in Ayr, before we get to the lassies, in Ayr, there was, I think, 34 people from the local community who joined the Newfoundland Regiment.
Did they?
As soldiers,
right.
As bandsmen. Like Worthington came out of retirement, formed the band. The oldest soldier of the Newfoundland Regiment to die was from Ayr, but he lived in Glasgow with his wife and 5 kids, and he joined the regiment at the age of 60. Went to France, played for the troops. And he came back and he died at the age of 62. Okay. His name was Maddox, from a heart attack. And he's buried up in Saxon. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and then of course, different people, different language, different talking, loneliness. So most of the men here were single. Yep. So they did find, there was 255 women from the United Kingdom to marry Newfoundland men. 70% of them were from Scotland, and there was 103 from the local area alone. So,
and that's 110 years ago.
110 years ago.
I've been contacted by one of them at one point, and she was talking about her great-great-grandmother, who was a lass from Ayr, and she said to me, there's over 50 descendants from her alone. And that's incredible. So there are thousands of people, both in Newfoundland and in Scotland, including the fella that's actually videoing us here, that are actually descended from and they're wonderful unions, aren't they?
So our mission, and if anybody sees this video, we're trying to find the final resting place of those Newfoundland soldiers who stayed in Scotland.
Brilliant.
And just died after the war. Because like with Cooper's grave,
James Cooper.
So we put a footstone on his grave to say he was a Newfoundland Regiment soldier. And we're going to do the same thing with George McCullough, the one-legged guy who's the horse groomer.
Brilliant.
And if you have a Commonwealth War grave, it says you were a soldier, but if you just died of old age or after the war, then it doesn't. So we're going to try to fix that, because I do that at home. And we're going to try to fix that in Scotland as well. So we're looking for them. We know their names, we know what town they're buried in, but cemetery, we're trying to figure that out.
I have to say, Michael, I am delighted that you're here. I was actually privileged to be on a Zoom call about a year ago when we were with Michael, and Michael at that point was given the Order of Newfoundland. I think he'd actually had an email when it came in, so he just kind of blurted out, "I've just been ordered, given," and it's richly deserved. I'm so glad I've met you. I'm so glad that you're here and here. But most importantly, I'm so glad that we're starting to develop this shared memory, these shared connections, and we'll remember, which is the most important thing. I mean, I suppose one last question. Why do you think it's important to remember both the boys that went across, the boys that fell?
There were also 175 women from Newfoundland who served.
Right.
And one lost her life, Bertha Bartlett. Why is it important? If I could show you a picture, I would. So last June, there were members of Cooper's family came over, his granddaughter, Jan, and her daughter, Jillian, and a family friend, Allie. So we went out on social media and some connections we had, and we got both sides of that family together in the same hall and had like a dinner, well, a Newfoundland kitchen party, we call it.
Fantastic.
And we had some music playing, some Scottish music, and just that love and connection in their face.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So that's important. I think this shared history is that younger people need to remember this. And not because there's anything glamorous about war. I was a soldier for 33 years. No. And maybe if one of these kids we can influence is in that room making a decision, do we attack or do we try one more time for political things or one more time to talking before we commit men to die or men and women to die? And then I think our aim's achieved.
Yeah, it's like Churchill said, jaw is better than war.
Yes.
And we need to know that. Michael, I'm going to shake your hand. I am so glad that you're here.
Yeah, I'm great.
Thank you very much.